Humans, ever since the dawn of time, have been so curious about the natural facts. We deem it necessary to have an explanation for everything. This causes human beings, as our ancestors, to create many stories about how they were interpreting the natural phenomena, whether it be white snows, or even how little insect flies. Little of our universe can be fully explained, but science is there to find the truth. However, before science matured to what we have today, we had created the simplest possible explanations for everything. Some cultures had the most outrageous theories. However, they are also very interesting. The day and night is one of those mysterious things we have ever wanted to know. How it could possibly go. And here there are some of those ancient myths that humans from various cultures used to believe explaining this phenomenon. Starting by the Japanese mythology. According to Nihon Shoki, there were 3 siblings who came from the god Izanagi no Mikito and the goddess Izanami no Mikito. The 3 gods were Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun and the ruler of the heaven; Tsukiyomi, the god of the moon and the ruler of the night; and Susanoo, the god of the storms and the ruler of the seas. One day, Amaterasu commanded Tsukiyomi to go to earth and pay a visit to Yukimochi, the food goddess. To bid Tsukiyomi welcome, Yukimochi vomited rice, fish, and other animals onto the earth. Yukimochi then used the same method to serve Tsukiyomi food at a banquet. Unsurprisingly, Tsukiyomi was so offended and disgusted by the act that he killed Yukimochi. Once Tsukiyomi returned to heaven, he told Amaterasu what had happened during his visit. Amaterasu was so displeased by her brother's actions that she swore to never meet and face him again. Hence, when the sun sets, the moon flees from the sun for eternity. Setting in Egypt, Ra is the sun god and Egyptian mythology. In Egyptian mythology, Ra is believed to be one of the only Egyptian gods to not inhabit the earth. Instead, he lives in the sky due to his old age. Ra rides on a solar back, which represents the sun, and travels through the 12 provinces, which represent the 12 hours of the day. That's creating daytime. Ra, however, dies every sunset, which gives darkness throughout the world. In his dead form, he goes through the underworld in his night bark. During his travels through the underworld, he fights the snake demon named Apep. At sunrise, it is believed that Ra has defeated Apep once again. Ra proceeds to travel on his solar bark until he dies once more. There are two night gods. Khunsu is the newest moon god, eclipsing the old moon god La. Khunsu travels across the world in Ra's absence to guide people to their destination. La is thought to be the reason why there are 365 days in a year. While in Lakota, a Native American tribe, Anwi is the moon goddess in Lakota mythology. We, the sun god, once took a mortal named Iktomi to replace Anwi's place next to him at a feast. Scan, the sky god, denounced We for his actions and decided to punish him. Scan took Anwi from We and gave her rule over the night. Meanwhile, he ordered We to only rule over the day, never being allowed to see Anwi. Anwi, for eternity, will be depressed due to We's actions. She shows her shame by hiding different parts of her face, thus creating the moon cycle. Where in Mesopotamia, which is the birthplace of many of the first civilizations, including Sumerians, Akkadians, Amorites, Hittites, Kassites, Assyrians, and Chaldeans. Shamash, the sun god, was believed to be the child of the moon god Sin. He is depicted as the god of justice and equality. Shamash repeatedly rises from the east on foot or chariot, with sun rays emanating from his shoulders, while he is providing sunlight for the world. He also presides over courts for men and gods alike. However, his duty is not limited to our world. He must also do this in the underworld. He travels to the underworld by descending in the west, thus creating darkness and night. In the underworld, Shamash also presides over courts where he judges and disputes of debt. As far as the north can be, the Inuit are people of Asian origins who inhabit the Arctic regions of the United States, Canada, and parts of Greenland. Malina, the Inuit sun goddess, lived with her brother Aningan, the moon god. One day, they had a large dispute, and it turned ugly. During the dispute, Malina spread black grease over Aningan's face. Regretting her decision, she ran away from their house and became the sun. Aningan chased after her to the point where he transformed into the moon. In this event, the day and night rotation was born. Aningan sometimes begins to neglect his needs and begins to starve. So he gets thinner and thinner, which represents the moon cycle. In the Urine mythology, there is a different story. The Urines are an Amazonian tribe that inhabits Brazil. According to their mythology, the world was originally covered in darkness. This darkness was caused by the immense population of birds, who annoyingly blocked out the sun and its lights with their wings. Two humans, named Quat and Lee, were both tired of the birds taking all the sunlight for themselves. They hatched a plan in which they decided to trap the king of the birds, Urubutsin. They both hide inside a dead animal's corpse and waited for Urubutsin to land. When he landed, Quat leaped out of the corpse and caught Urubutsin by his leg. Quat demanded the king to share some of the sunlight with the rest of the world. Unable to flee, Urubutsin was forced to agree. The Filipinos had a very interesting myth about day and night. After the Spanish conquest of the Philippine Islands, the native religion had faded from memory. In Filipino mythology, there were two gods, Apulaki, who ruled over the sun, and his sister Mayari, who ruled over the moon. Their father Bathala ruled over the entire world from the heavens following his battle with Yulingan Kululuwai. Sadly, Bathala's reign ended with his death, and the power struggle between Apulaki and Mayari began. Apulaki wanted to become the sole ruler of the heavens and the world, while Mayari had other plans. She sought to share the ring with Apulaki. In one battle, Apulaki took out one of his sister's eyes. After the battle, Apulaki began to contemplate his actions. eventually beginning to regret them. To show his regret, Ablaki agreed to share the heavens and the world with Mayari. First, Ablaki would rule over the sun. Then Mayari would rule. Yet, due to her loss of an eye, when she reigns over the heavens and the earth, her power wanes, making the moon dim. In Aztec mythology, there were 4 different gods who became the sun. However, all of them perished due to the feuds with other gods. After the gods had another large feud over the validity of the 4th god, the world was destroyed, and again there was no sun god. All of the gods knew that in a 5th sun god took over, another feud would erupt and eventually destroy the world again. Thus, no one volunteered to become the sun god, while darkness loomed and swallowed the world. The sun, however, was a vital part of the world. So the gods created a council to vote for the 5th sun god. This time, the gods decided that the god who was picked must kill himself to save the world. 2 gods were picked, Tikistikat and Nanwat. A great fire was created for the 2 gods to sacrifice themselves. Akistikat was the first one to attempt to jump into the fire, but he was so scared of the sheer heat of the fire that he retreated back 4 times. The gods became tired of Tikistikat's folly, so they asked Nanwat to jump into the flames. Nanwat, without a second thought, jumped into the fire and became the sun god. Tikistikat's pride was hurt, and he decided to jump into flames at last. Finally, there were 2 sons born from the fire. But the gods did not like the idea of having 2 sons in the sky. Hence, they threw a rabbit at Tikistikat, which left a mark of the rabbit on him. This made Tikistikat steamer and created the moon. However, Tikistikat was angry at Nanwat, for he hasn't forgotten Nanwat's actions. So ever since he became the moon, he attempted to chase Nanwat. Thus, when Nanwat is seen, his brightness creates daytime. When Tikistikat is seen, his dimness creates darkness and night. Hello again. it's Huda. Today's episode was basically about the ancient myths from each culture, how each one of them interpret natural phenomena as the day and night. Asterism podcast's purpose is to carry knowledge in form of storytelling, matching with your various interests. I'm a fan of ancient mythology, and surely you are. Perhaps each one of you has an interesting story to tell. Share it with us in a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for new episodes. See you soon.